like to call. Oh, good. Thank you. I'd like to call to order the regular city commission meeting for June 1st, 2021 at 7 p.m. We have roll call, please.
Commissioner Drosky.
Here.
Commissioner Hudak.
Here.
Commissioner Barnes.
Here.
Vice Mayor Preston.
Here.
Mayor Gantz.
Here. If we could have, before we have our moment of silence, I'd like to recognize, I said this at a recent meeting, the clergy. It's very disappointing just because of the nature of the way things are these days, that every one of these meetings, before we have our moment of silence, that we ask people to please keep someone in their prayers or their thoughts. And Jim Dunn from J.R. Dunn, so many of you know, great philanthropist here in Broward County and beyond, and a great contributor to the Boys and Girls Club, not just the one here in Deerfield Beach, but throughout Broward County, and had his Dunn's Run here in Deerfield, passed away since our last meeting. So please think of Mr. Dunn, his family, in your thoughts and prayers. We have a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If we could have approval of the city commission meeting minutes for the regular city commission minutes, from May 4th, 2021, and the city commission workshop meeting minutes of April 22nd, 2021.
Motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Acknowledgement of our city board meeting minutes for the community appearance board meeting minutes of April 28th, 2021. The Hillsborough Inlet District meeting minutes from April 19th, 2021, the code compliance meeting minutes from February 24th, 2021, and March 24th, 2021.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. If we could have approval of our agenda for tonight, June 1st, 2021.
Motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion, the second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Madam Clerk.
For records of the public wishing to provide comments during tonight's meeting, 3 minutes will be given. However, 1 additional minute can be provided on their advance. Anyone connected online via Zoom must cover their mouse at the bottom of the computer screen and click the participants tab. On the right-hand side, click raise hand, and you will be recognized by your profile name, and your audio will be unmuted. For anyone participating via mobile device or landline, dial *9 to raise your hand. You will be recognized by the last 3 digits of your phone number. You may dial *6 to be unmuted, and these instructions are also being sent via chat.
Thank you very much. First off, we'd like to do our proclamations. Is Robin Raymond joining us here tonight? Robin Raymond?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Excellent.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hello.
Welcome. Would you like to say a few words before this proclamation? Would you like to wait till afterwards?
I'll do it afterwards, and that's great. Thank you.
Thank you. Every day, 100 Americans are killed by gun violence. On an average, there are nearly 13,000 gun homicides every year, and Americans are 25 times more likely to be killed with guns than people in other developed countries. Broward County for Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America and Every Town for Gun Safety is a nonprofit organization which advocates for common sense gun laws and works to reduce gun violence. Inspired by the friends and family of Idea Pendleton, Moms Demand Action created the Wear Orange campaign the first weekend in June to commemorate National Gun Violence Awareness Day. Idea Pendleton was a high school student in Chicago who shot and tragically killed very shortly after performing with her high school band in President Obama's second inauguration. To help honor Idea and all American lives who are cut short by shootings every day, a national coalition of organizations designated June 4th, 2021 as the 7th National Gun Violence Awareness Day. Locally, the tragic events at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, where gun violence resulted in the loss of 17 students and faculty, and this wounding of 17 others, brings greater attention to the need for awareness. The city of Deerfield Beach has a commitment to reduce gun violence, pledged to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands, to encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children and our community safe. Now, therefore, I, Bill Gantz, the mayor of the city of Deerfield Beach, do hereby proclaim June 4th, 2021 as National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And since you're not here for our proclamation, we will make sure this gets to you, Ms. Raymond, if you'd like to speak.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm Robin Raymond, a volunteer with Moms Demand Action Broward chapter. And I would like to take a moment to thank you, Mayor Gantz and the City Commission, for your unwavering support for gun violence prevention. You've always supported not only this issue, but Moms Demand Action for gun safety in America. And you recognize the epidemic of gun violence in this country and the daily gun violence that plagues our city and county. I know that once the appropriate gun violence legislation is passed by Congress, that you will work with our local law enforcement agencies to effect the change that we need to combat this epidemic. I accept this proclamation on behalf of Moms Demand Action, and thank you, Mayor Gantz, and the whole City Commission for proclaiming June 4th, 2021 as National Gun Violence Awareness Day in your city. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Raymond. Really appreciate it.
Yay.
The next item on our agenda, do we have Mr. Boo here? Mr. Robert Boo?
Am here, yes.
Excellent. Welcome.
Thank
We have
you.
this proclamation to President Bill Clinton on June 2nd, 2000 declared June as Gay and Lesbian Pride Month, commemorating the June 1969 Stonewall Uprising in New York City. And on June 1st, 2009, President Barack Obama expanded the commemoration further by declaring June to be Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender Pride Month. June 2021 marks the 52nd anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising, which broke out following a police raid on the Stonewall and targeting LGBTQ patrons and other marginalized people. It is imperative that everyone in our community, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, feel valued, safe, empowered, and supported by their peers and community leaders. The Pride Center at Equality Park is a nonprofit organization located in Palm Manors, Florida. Their mission is to provide a welcoming, safe space, inclusive home that celebrates, nurtures, and empowers the LGBTQ and more communities and our friends and neighbors in South Florida. The LGBTQ community continue to celebrate authenticity, acceptance, and love. And the City of Deerfield Beach urges residents to recognize the contributions made by members of the LGBTQ community that actively promote principles of equality, liberty, and justice. Now, therefore, I, Bill Gantz, Mayor of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, in recognition thereof, do proclaim June 2021 as LGBTQ Pride Month. Mr. Boo, we have this proclamation for you. Would you like to say a few words?
Why, thank you, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Commissioners, City Manager. Thank you very much for recognizing the Pride Center at Equality Park. We are your South Florida's LGBTQ welcoming home. We have a 5.5-acre campus, and we are the home to 10 other organizations. Pre-pandemic, we would have 1,000 to 2,000 people step foot on our campus, but ever since March 18th, we have been closed to the public, but all of our programs and services continue virtually with the exception of HIV testing, which is by appointment. But later this month, we will be opening our doors and celebrating our 28th anniversary of providing services to our community. So thank you very much. I appreciate the recognition, and I'm very proud to accept it on behalf of my board of directors, staff, and the 350 volunteers who help make the Pride Center magic happen.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Mr. City Manager, are we going to be covering that?
Yes, ma'am. The first item, which is the award, we can do that one this evening, but if I may, I'd like to request that item number 4 be tabled. We do still have staff finishing up some tightening a few things up with the 2020 comprehensive annual financial report, and I just asked that item be tabled. But item number 3 is we can still go ahead and do that. That's an award, and we do have our CFO Stephanie Tinsley to accept that, if you would.
That would be great. Would you like to do the honors?
Absolutely.
Good evening.
Yes, so I would like to thank our staff in the financial services department for their exceptional, very difficult work during fiscal year 2019 to complete the comprehensive annual financial report. If you remember, Commission, that was during a time of a great transition during that time we were completing that. And along with some consultants who helped us out during that transition, they really came together, and really with very little knowledge of the city of Deerfield Beach and its financial structure, did a tremendous job putting that together and getting that out in time. And to be able to receive that award, I think just speaks of the dedication and the hard work they put into that. So I just want to thank them very much. Ms. Tinsley, if you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Santucci, and thank you, commissioners. This is the 40th year, so there's certainly nothing new, and just trying to hang on and make sure that we keep the process going. And the team together, the financial services team, they, as Mr. Santucci indicated, worked very, very hard with the changing leadership, with me coming on board that knew nothing. And sometimes I still feel the exact same way. They are a team that really worked together to keep us afloat, and I really appreciate them. And I just wanted to indicate that, and all the rest of the departments as well that was patient through the transition to help us get through the development of that comprehensive annual financial report, and as well the continued patience with us as we continue to do improvements and implement things to move this ship very slowly around, so that we're in a better situation each and every year. So just like to thank you all for your support as well. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to you and your staff for an outstanding job.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We're going to move on to item number 5. Alzheimer's disease is a progressive neurodegenerative brain disorder that tragically robs individuals of their memories and leads to progressive mental and physical impairments. Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States. It is the only cause of death in the top 10. There's no cure, no treatment. More than 6 million people in the United States are living with Alzheimer's, including approximately 580,000 in Florida and 43,627 in Broward County. The Alzheimer's Association Southeast Florida chapter serves 8 counties with education and support, as well as raising funds for research. With early detection and diagnosis, individuals and their families can gain access to medications, enroll in critical research trials, fully participate in planning for the future, and receive care and support. However, there is a need to raise awareness about Alzheimer's disease and to honor all the caregivers who support and care for loved ones with Alzheimer's. Now, therefore, I, Bill Gans, mayor of the city of Deerfield Beach, do hereby proclaim June 2021 as Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. Do we have someone here to accept this?
Yes. Good evening, Mayor. My name is Jennifer Braisted. I'm the Senior Public Policy Manager for the association. And, just thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. We appreciate your support and recognition. As mentioned, Alzheimer's is one of the only leading causes of death and the only one in the top 10 that has no prevention, treatment, or cure. Unfortunately, we saw a drastic increase in deaths during the pandemic last year with over 18%. We have over, as mentioned, over 45,000 individuals with a diagnosis in Broward County. The reality of it is that so many others are living with dementia who haven't gotten that diagnosis yet. But we are so grateful to the city and work very closely with your active aging department and are so grateful for all that they do for our community. As an association, we have support groups and education and resources because no one should go through this journey alone. This disease not only has an impact on the individual who has the diagnosis, but has a tremendous impact on the entire family, and especially those who are providing that direct 24/7 care. So again, just thank you so much, and we appreciate you recognizing June as Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month.
Thank you so much for being here tonight, Ms. Braisted. Thank you for all your work.
Thank you.
Okay, before we move on to item number 6, Mayor, can we get a motion on the manager's recommendation to table item number 4, please?
Yes. Motion to table.
Second.
There's a motion to table item 4. We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
That's great. Thank you.
Mr. Attorney.
Thank you. Item number 6 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, considering a major site plan amendment application from Deerfield Church of Christ, Inc. to construct a 1,673 square foot family hall addition to the existing church at the property located at 360 Southwest 2nd Avenue, Deerfield Beach, Florida, application number 88-R7-3, Provision 1, providing for conflict severability and an effective date. I believe we have a representative here on behalf of the church to speak on this item. And sir, after you state your name and your address, if you could let us know whether you waive quasi-judicial or not. You do have the right to, should you so choose, a more formal hearing with witnesses and cross-examination and all of that, or you could choose to waive that. If you could let us know what your pleasure is on the record, that'd be appreciated.
Good evening. My name is Hendrik Demello, Demello Architecture, 911 Southwest 18th Street, Boca Raton, 33486. And I do waive.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, this is an addition to an existing church. We're proposing to operate the building to match the new addition. We have met all the requirements for the planning and zoning board, from planning and zoning department, and it's pretty much kind of self-explanatory. If you have the plans in front of you, and it's just if you guys have any questions, be more than happy to answer.
Okay, thank you. Commission. You have to raise your hand. Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Parnas.
Is this the church that runs the food banks?
I don't think so.
No, you don't think so. Where on Dixie are you?
We're not Dixie. We are off of 3rd and 4th.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Grosky.
Thank you, Mayor. My question is for staff. Mr. Power, you can answer from there. Just one question. Has the applicant met all of the requirements? Because when I read through your staff's report to DRC, Jenna made some comments, that some items were not satisfied. Have all those been corrected?
You should have the most recent DRC comments, which all comments have been addressed. At this time, the applicant has addressed all of your comments.
The one in my backup was from March. Jenna's report was March 17. Maybe it's, give me 1 second. Yeah, there was some like on page 3 of 8 where it says comment not addressed. But if you're representing that all comments have now been satisfied, then I'm okay with that.
That is correct.
All right, thank you.
All right. Is there anyone from the public that would care to comment on this item? I don't see any from the public, but it's going to the podium. I'll close it to the public. Commission?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion from Commissioner Hudak, second by Commissioner Parnas. We have roll call, please.
Commissioner Drosky,
Yes.
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Parnas,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preston,
Yes.
Mayor Gantz.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, good night.
Thank you.
Item number 7, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, approving the fiscal year 2021-2022 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan, providing for implementation and an effective date.
Commission, any comments or concerns? No. Okay. Anyone from the public here to comment on this item? I'll see you coming to the podium. Doesn't appear to be anybody online. I'll go ahead and close it to the public. Commission.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by the Vice Mayor. And we have a
Second.
second by Commissioner Parnas. We have roll call.
Commissioner Drosky,
Yes.
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Parnas,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preston,
Yes.
Mayor Gantz.
Yes.
Item number 8 is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 98 Land Development Regulations, Article 4 Supplementary Regulations, Section 98-81 Tree Preservation of the city's Land Development Code to eliminate the Beautification Landscape Trust Fund and provide for eligible expenditures from the Tree Preservation Trust Fund, authorizing transfer of funds from the Beautification Landscape Trust Fund to the Tree Preservation Trust Fund, providing for codification, severability, conflicts, and an effective date, and this is second reading.
Anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Let's see, from the public, it will close it to the public. Commission.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Drosky, second by Commissioner Parnas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed.
Item number 9, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 66 Traffic and Vehicles, Article 2 Stopping Standing Parking of the City Code of Ordinances to revise certain parking regulations and the parking citation appeal process and for consistency with state law, amending City Code Section 50-133 metered and stickered parking for watercraft trailers at Pioneer Park to revise the fines for unlawful watercraft trailer parking, providing for conflicts, severability, codification, and effective date. It's the second reading.
Commission, any comments?
Section.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I raised my.
Thank you, Commissioner Parnas. Thank you.
I have a question. Who's going to set the fines? And are we going to do the same thing as we're doing with cars if they refuse to pay 2 or more tickets? We take action to take possession of the vehicle for the code? Or are we just waving the flag and saying don't park here?
Staff.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm happy to address that. The fines are outlined in the ordinance. The violation fees are set. I'd be happy to go over those with you.
Not necessarily. It's
Okay.
okay. It's in there. That's what
Yes,
counts.
as it relates to the second question, the commissioner, the same would apply for boats and trailers as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone from the public who care to comment on the side? Not seeing any, I'm going to close it to the public. Commission.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Parnas, second by Commissioner Hudak. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
We are now at the public comment portion of tonight's meeting. Persons addressing the commission shall state his or her name and address and may speak for 3 minutes unless extended for 1 additional minute by the mayor. That this is the time for public comment for items that are not on the agenda. If you have public comment for an item on the agenda, the time to do that is during the public comment portion after that agenda item is called. And a reminder that no comment shall be made related to the personal life or personal qualities of any person, and no language which would offend persons of ordinary sensibility shall be permitted.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. I know it's been a while since you've seen me, but not only you know that I'm a mother, I am now a grandmother of 9 children, and another one to be in August.
Well,
So it'll be
and
10.
I'm gonna pause you for a moment, because while we all know and love you, we do need your name and address.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
My
okay.
name is Peggy Nolan, and my address is 325 Southeast 3rd Terrace, Deerfield Beach. The reason I'm here tonight is I brought some issues to some people here at the city, and they haven't been addressed. So I'm bringing them to all of you, and I'm gonna start with the tiki huts on the beach. There's no palm fronds on them. Okay, and so if people are up there and they're having lunch or dinner with their grandkids or their children, you can soak them wet if it rains. Now, this has been 4 months. This has been 4 months. The crosswalk lights in front of Flanagan's, again, 3 to 4 months. West Side Park, I was over there for the Rattlers football practice the other night, because I have a cousin whose son is now trying out for the Rattlers, and the field is an absolute disgrace. There's ruts. Someone's gonna get hurt if these kids fall over there. The showers at the pool aren't working. I went over there because one of the kids wanted to go in the 0 line, and so grandma took them over. And we went in the restrooms, and the showers are all closed down with, like almost like crime tape. Then I talked with Jason at Little League, because I'm over there, now it just stopped, but I've been over there several times, because Jaden Nolan, who is, our cousin, and we've adopted him because his grandparents are gone. There's 5 scoreboards at Deerfield Beach Middle School that we are responsible for. When we took the bond and we redid the fields, that was the responsibility of the city of Deerfield Beach. Not one of them worked. 5, not one of them worked. Also, Pioneer Park, the school, they need dirt. All the ball fields need dirt. And also that's the one that, Pioneer and the middle school. The lights are burned out on every single one of the light poles at the middle school, on your football field, and also on your ball fields. At least 3 to 4 lights are out on the poles. And I've talked to Jason, because I'm over there, and he was, Peggy, I asked him, I ignored it. So I said, I'm gonna go to commission meeting. I'm not sure about the soccer fields. Sorry, because I really didn't look up when I was over there. Also, someone needs to go over it. I believe a report was done, or a study was done on the gutters and the fascia. It's an accident waiting to happen. I'm talking, there's gutters that are missing that are this big. They're rotted.
Are you talking about the section right at the middle school there behind home plate where it leaks straight down, the water runs straight?
Not only their build, they're out on Mayor, they're out on the football building too.
But it's still in that
Oh
condition.
my God, it's absolute, you would die if you saw them. It's embarrassing.
I've seen them.
Okay, it's embarrassing. Tell me it's not embarrassing. I walked by there and Jason said, look here, look here. I go, Jason, please don't make me look. I'm embarrassed that this is going on in our city. I understand a study was done on that. Now, I'm not sure about those being replaced or.
I'm gonna give you another minute.
Okay, all right. And then the bleachers at the middle school. Now, they're probably everywhere else in the city, but I just happened to take a walk around the middle school and I start seeing all these things. Again, the field. The bleachers have gaps on them at the end, right here, so that they're not raw, so they're not rough.
We're gonna need you speaking to Mike.
I'm sorry. So the caps, there's safety caps on the end of the bleachers, so that they're gone. They're gone. And most of them are the bottom rows where little kids would run into them and get hurt. Let's see. And I was notified about 3-4 months ago about some of these problems. I was told that it would be under the capital improvements. Now, I always was believed that the capital improvements are brand new buildings. These aren't brand new buildings. This should be under maintenance. And obviously, it's been quite a while since these buildings have been maintained. Oh, boy, I got that all in. I don't need that many.
Thank you.
So please.
Yes, so we're gonna address that in a moment.
Okay.
Vice Mayor Preston, you want to speak now, or want to see if somebody else is speak for that?
I wanted to ask, Mayor Noah, over at the Rattler Field, specifically, where would the unsafety be? I mean,
They practice in the front fields,
okay,
more towards,
is it holes or what is it?
yeah,
Okay,
yes, and there's a lot of weeds. Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Is there anyone else from the public who care to speak? Not seeing anyone able to close it to the public. I will say this, I've gone through the checklist and did I guess you could say, a review of our beach area and the tiki huts. From what I've been told, they are missing the middle section of both the tiki huts are missing. Those are supposed to scheduled to be repaired here soon, from what I understand. It's been a long time coming, but we know it's there. I've already talked to the city manager about my desire to have money in the budget to replace the scoreboards for the at the middle school. The gutters at the base, I should have followed up. I was assuming this was taken care of a while ago, because I know this is something that was brought to my attention and I brought it to the staff's attention. So I'm disappointed to hear that hasn't been taken care of. Certainly we will look at all these things and find out where we're at and get an update for the next one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, we have just one board appointment on consent for board appointments. You want me to go ahead and read that into the record, Mayor?
Please.
Okay. Item number 10 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, confirming Najim Musto as member of the Non-Uniform Employees Retirement Plan Committee, providing for an effective date.
Is there anyone from the public care to comment on this item? We're going to close it to the public.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion from Commissioner Parnas, second by the Vice Mayor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Passes.
Okay, we now have consent agreements and expenditure requests. Item numbers 11 through 16, including the addenda item, are on consent. Do you want to call and see if there's any speakers on those items? How would you like?
Yes. Is there anyone who would care to comment on items 11 through 15?
16, Mr. Mayor, sorry, excuse me.
My apologies. Anyone? Okay. That commission, do we have any polls? Okay, we can do this all as one. I suppose. I sure can. Thank you. We close it to the public. Can you read each one?
Well,
and then we will go ahead.
I don't need to, but if you'd like me to, absolutely.
That's all right.
Sure. Item number 11, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, approving a state highway lighting maintenance and compensation agreement with the Florida Department of Transportation for the city's maintenance of lighting located on the state highway system within the city for a 7-year term, authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement, providing for implementation and effective date. Item number 12 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, approving contract number JB8311E06-2021 with the Area-Wide Council on Aging of Broward County, Inc. for the Uniper pilot program in the amount of $7,115.12, authorizing execution of the contract, providing an effective date. Item number 13 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, approving electrical vehicle charging equipment agreements with Florida Power and Light for the FP&L Evolution pilot program to install electric vehicle charging and related equipment at the Cove parking lot and Main Beach parking lot, authorizing the city manager to execute the agreements, providing for implementation and an effective date. Item number 14 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, approving the purchase of a compressed natural gas automated side load collection truck from Scranton Manufacturing Company, Inc., doing business as New Way Trucks in the amount of $299,997, utilizing Sourcewell Cooperative Contract number 091219 NWY, providing for execution and effective date. Item number 15 is resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, approving the award of invitation for bid number 21-30-JW for compressed natural gas, authorizing execution of an agreement with Intercon Resources LLC, the lowest price responsive and responsible bidder for a one-year term, providing for severability and effective date. And item number 16 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, approving a limited use license agreement with the State of Florida Department of Health, Broward County Health Department for COVID-19 vaccination events, ratifying execution of the limited use license agreement with the Department of Health, providing for implementation and an effective date.
Thank you. We just want to hear your voice.
Thanks.
Commissioner Parnas, I see you have your hand raised.
Motion to approve.
Second. You have a motion from Commissioner Parnas, seconded by Vice Mayor Preston. We have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Drosky,
Yes.
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Parnas,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preston,
Yes.
Mayor Gantz.
Yes.
Item number 17 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, amending the 2020-2021 schedule of City Commission meetings, providing for implementation with effective dates.
Commission, any comments? Let's see anyone from the public here comment on this item. Then close it to the public. Commission.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by the Vice Mayor, second by Commissioner Parnas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, passes.
Item number 18 is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, amending the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 3, Officials, Officers, and Employees, Division 2, Travel Expenditure Policies, to provide for the adoption of travel policies and procedures by resolution, and to provide for consistency with state law, providing for conflict, severability, codification, and effective date. This is first reading of this ordinance.
Is there anyone from the public who care to comment on this item? Go ahead and close it to the public. Commission.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hudak, second by Commissioner Parnas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Item number 19, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, adopting an amendment to the city budget for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2021, establishing a special revenue fund for the American Rescue Plan Act funds allocation in the amount of $16,284,885, and approving supplemental appropriations, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date. Again, this is first reading.
Any comments before I open to the public? Close it. Open it to the public. And for the public here to comment on the side. Let's see, I'll close it to the public. Commission. Commissioner Grosky.
I just have one question for the city manager. When can we expect to discuss? We're just putting the money into the special account now. When can we expect to discuss what the money is going to be actually used for?
Thank you, Commissioner. So once this is approved, we'll have the mechanism to accept those funds. We'll be meeting with our consultant here in the next, it's next week that I'm meeting with them. So we have had staff been working on, even prior to this item coming before you, to put together a list, very creative list from staff on possible eligible projects. As you know, the ARP funds are $16.22 million and can be used for various qualifying expenses. The FAQs are now coming out from the Treasury, which is very important. It provides the additional guidance above the actual language that is in the Act. But we're still in the 60-day comment period. So that comment period began in middle of May, so by the middle of July, that comment period will have ended, and we'll have a much clearer picture of the eligible expenses. And we will be putting together a list for the commission to consider of eligible expenses to bring forward and have discussion on. For now, we just, as you can see here, are establishing the fund and the mechanism for the expenditures. So we'll probably be looking to come before you, I would say, if not, July, hopefully one of the meetings in August.
Follow-up question, Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you. I noticed in the Treasury guidance, one of the approved categories is stormwater. So my comment is, if you're having stormwater project or projects which are near and dear to several of us up here on the dais as part of the spending plan, could you also include the stormwater fund and that budget, and how much is in there and what we're doing with those funds, so that we can compare the stormwater funds versus what is being proposed to be spent out of the American Rescue Plan funds. Does that make sense?
Truth be told, I'm not sure if I followed that completely, Commissioner. What I will tell you is that I fully intend to bring forward stormwater projects as some of the proposed projects to come out of the American Recovery Plan. Does that answer your question?
Well, it does. I mean, I guess we're kind of fast forward. So I guess I'd like to know, as part of that discussion, what are we doing with the money in the stormwater fund as well? How much is built up? It's been that was, I think, passed when I was shortly after I was first elected in 2017. So now it's 4 going on 5 years. It's had an opportunity to build up. So what are we using those funds for vis-a-vis the American Rescue Plan? I mean, I'm just trying to see what dollars are coming from where with respect to stormwater.
So the stormwater fund brings in about $2 million annually, and it does help with a lot of maintenance activities. Obviously, funded the master plan, which identified several projects, and more importantly, prioritized 4 projects in each district. Several of them I know we're very familiar with. Through that activity, we've now identified some of the repairs that need to take place to some of the systems in there to remediate some of the issues that have been identified. And those projects are definitely in excess of $500,000 apiece. So relying solely on the stormwater for a lot of these projects is not going to be feasible at the current funding level. So we will be making recommendations to use the ARP funding for some of these stormwater projects, specifically at least the 4 priority projects that were identified for each district.
Okay, all right, so that's where I'm going with my question. Can you just show us the math when it comes time that the stormwater fund is not, either doesn't have the funds or can't, support all of these projects, and that's why we're going into the American Rescue Fund. So I just want to see the math when the time comes.
Absolutely. We'll be discussing the stormwater revenues as well as the expenses here in a couple of weeks when we do the budget meeting, and we'll fill in any gaps based on this conversation to make sure that that's clear. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I was looking to make a motion to approve.
I think I would. Motion to approve.
You have a motion by, wait for the first one, the second. Commissioner Drosky, and then seconded by Commissioner Parnas. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Drosky,
Yes.
Commissioner Hudak,
Yes.
Commissioner Parnas,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Preston,
Yes.
Mayor Gantz.
Yes.
Item number 20 is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, amending the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 6, Code Enforcement, Division 2, Special Magistrate, Section 2-357, Code Enforcement, Special Magistrate Jurisdiction and Authority of the City Code of Ordinances, amending Chapter 70, Water Conservation, Section 70-163, Year-Round Landscape Irrigation Conservation Measures, to make Section 70-163 subject to the code enforcement process in Chapter 2 of the City Code, providing for conflict severability, codification, and an effective date. This is first reading.
I think there's some misinformation floating around. Matter of fact, I know there's misinformation floating around here, and I just want to verify that it's correct. But this that goes in place when we talk about certain days you're allowed to water or not allowed to water, that's only in case there is an emergency that's been declared as far as drought. Is that correct?
Mayor, I'm happy to address that. There has always been current restrictions in place. The South Florida Water Management District does at times in drought get even more restrictive. But all this does is provide an enforcement mechanism for what already exists. And we actually have the language in our code already for this restriction, but the South Florida Water Management District, they do from time to time review other cities' code of ordinances for compliancy. And they just found that without these statements that are in here, they've asked for them to be updated. It's not that we weren't able to enforce these things prior to, they just, again, asked for this language to be a little bit more, I guess, blatant and clear in our ordinances.
So when I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago and asked you about this in particular, and I asked you, do we still have these restricted days in which we're only allowed water on certain days? You said that's only in case of emergency. Does that still apply, or are we in an emergency, or where are we at?
We are not in an emergency, and as a practice, the code enforcement doesn't go around checking for days of when they enforce. We do it from a standpoint of when there are water drought conditions and large enforcement fees that we've seen in the past. Code enforcement will do that, or over excessive watering in instances of that case.
Okay, but as of right now, based on what the quote law is, are there certain days that we can and cannot water?
I believe the South Florida Water Management District has days for odd number houses and days for even number houses.
That's currently in place.
Correct.
Okay, so it doesn't take a state of emergency for us to have that in place. It's only, we're only enforcing it when we are in a state of emergency. Is that what we're saying?
Correct. Yes, this is not something that we actively enforce unless we are made aware of some major issue with that.
So the information that's floating out there is entirely inaccurate. It's just that it currently exists now. This isn't something the orders play language and make sure the South Florida Water Management is like it's a hard time. Is that correct?
It's my understanding that what's been floating around is that this is something that the city is imposing, and it is not.
That wasn't what my question was before, so I'm glad we got some clarification on it. Anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Not seeing anyone, I'll close it. Commissioner Parnas?
Yeah, why do we have to wait until we have no water to drink before we do something? Broward County's been in water shortage for almost as long as I've lived here. And it gets bad, and then gets a little better, then it gets bad again, it gets a little better. We have a water shortage in Broward County. And I think it's up to us to enforce the law, because waiting for it to become an emergency, there's a lot of people that are gonna put their tap on and not find good, clean water. We have a problem in Broward with fresh water. And I can't see us helping to exacerbate the situation, waiting for the absolute emergency before we take action. If we're supposed to water an even number of houses on Monday and Wednesday, we should uphold the law instead of adding to the problem. At least that's my opinion.
Thank you, Commissioner. Looking for a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Hudak, second by Vice Mayor Preston. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
I'm opposed.
I think we should oppose to is the enforcement of.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Item 21, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Deerfield Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 98 Land Development Regulations, Article 4 Supplementary Regulations, Section 98-103, Reasonable Accommodation Procedures of the City Land Development Code to update the reasonable accommodation procedures, providing for conflict, severability, codification, and effective date. First reading.
Commission? Commissioner Parnas?
What are we trying to accomplish with this ordinance? I'd like somebody to tell me, updating reasonable accommodation procedures. What are we trying to accomplish? Are we trying to make it easier for people to develop buildings or schools or what? Or we have procedures in place for safety? What are we trying to accomplish with this ordinance?
Well, what they're looking to do is updating applications so little requirements to be consistent with procedures for other land use applications, including adding requirements for agent authorization letters, written narrative, and requests for additional materials. That's currently in place. Placing specific criteria for reasonable accommodations for community residents and other types of group housing.
Fine.
And clarifying mailing requirements. That sort of thing.
All right, that's okay. Thank you.
Anyone from the public here to comment on this item? Close it to the public. Vice Mayor Preston.
I was just gonna say, the way that you explained it, it made it a little bit clearer to me, because I did have a question about the one word reasonable. That's the word that I struggle with. How is that word defined? So, what's your explanation of that?
Thank you. Looking for a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hudak, second by Commissioner Parnas. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Comments by administration or legal?
No comments from legal today.
What was you talking about earlier?
To catch my breath.
Administration?
Just one this evening, Mayor. I did want to, as I did speak with each one of you individually, but collectively, I just like to discuss some changes that will be occurring to the bulk route schedule that we're proposing for to take effect at the beginning of July.
You mean bulk trash?
Yes. I'm sorry, did I not say bulk trash?
You said bulk schedule.
Oh, excuse me. Thank you. Well, it is bulk trash, and we're going to be looking to amend that schedule. And if I could ask Heather just to bring up the map for me, I'd greatly appreciate that. So currently, the issue is that we do the vast majority of the city on Mondays and Tuesdays. We typically fall behind because of that, and we want to go ahead and smooth out those routes. As you can see here, on Mondays, we're typically doing way out east, way out west, doing over 7,000 homes in one day, which represents approximately 43% of the city. Then on Tuesday, we would do about 4,841 homes. Those are depicted in the, let's see, that would be depicted in the red that you can see. And then as the week would go on, the route would be a little bit less. By smoothing out those routes, we can be a lot more operationally efficient and consistent with our residents in the days in which we do pick up that bulk. So we've come up with this proposed plan. As you can see, the yellow, which you can't see the yellow obviously, which would be on the east side and the south side of the picture here. But the yellow that you see there would be the Monday route. The Tuesday route would be in the green. The Wednesday route would be in the blue, and then the Thursday route would be in the red there. So staff has put together a really good marketing plan, not only through our social media outlets and our website, but also through yard signage in any communities that will be affected. And we have done this with sincerity to make sure that we can do it with the least impact to the city overall. So we'll be doing that over the course of the next month, and again, rolling that out at the beginning of July. Obviously, this will be a change for some communities, and we want to recognize that. So when it comes to enforcement, we'll of course be very lenient and understanding of that for the first couple of months as folks do get used to a new bulk day. And I'm happy to take any questions that there may be.
Thank you. Can we make sure that we also include that in the water bills?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see.
Comments by mayor and city commissioner.
We'll start with District 4.
Started to say one. Can't change mid-sentence.
We're going to start with the 1-4.
Thank you, Mayor. This Saturday, June 5th, is my office hours. They're still virtual. I think the first couple ones are taken, but if you wanted to meet with me, of course, I'm available anytime leading up to weekend hours. But if you need to meet with me, Saturday office hours are still available. This Saturday, June 5th, from 10 to noon. I believe the 10 and 10:30 are already taken, maybe 11 as well. But just contact the city manager's office. They'd be happy to schedule that. That's upcoming again this Saturday, June 5th. Staff is working on a community cleanup day in District 4. That'll be coming towards the end of June. The date and details I'll announce at the next commission meeting. But just be aware that that is coming. One of the likely targets would be Trailhead Park out west, which is the linear park that runs along Powerline Road, roughly from 10th Street to Green Road. That always seems to be in need of pickup some garbage that comes out of that flies off the garbage trucks along Powerline Road there. So that would be welcome. I know we do them out east at the beach, and so having one out west, I appreciate staff for doing and coordinating that. Like I said, I'll have more information at the next commission meeting. To my friends with BSO, I'm getting comments from the residents in Deer Creek that there are kids with presumably BB guns or air rifles that are shooting the iguanas off of the bridges. The residents are noticing that. So just be on the lookout if you could please for that activity occurring in the Deer Creek community. With respect to the Boys and Girls Club, which is very close to City Hall here, June is one of their campaigns to fund their summer club memberships. It's very inexpensive to sponsor a child to go to the Boys and Girls Club and all the great work that they do. Not only here in Deerfield Beach, but Broward County as a whole. And thank you, Mayor, for pointing out that Mr. Dunn was such a huge supporter of the Boys and Girls Club, and Deerfield Beach is certainly a recipient of that. And lastly, I'd like to share with my colleagues a conversation that I had last week with Broward County and the Florida Department of Transportation, not regarding my favorite subject, 10th Street, but regarding the commuter rail line that is proposed, which would run from, it's going to go all the way, they wanted to go all the way from downtown Miami and then north forward into Palm Beach County. There is 6 proposed stations for Broward County, and they want them spaced no less than 1.5 miles is the minimum distance between stations. They obviously would like it up to 2.5 miles per station, which is not really a concern for our area here in Broward County because you have, and I'll cut to the chase, Deerfield Beach is one of the proposed stations. And the next one to the south of us would be Pompano Beach. But as you get further to the south end of the county, as you get into Hallandale and Dania, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, those areas where obviously all those cities are competing to have a station, you get within the distance requirements, and not all of those cities are going to be able to get one. And I just tell you that as far as background goes. One of the things that could kill the entire project, because it's a federal project, and so there are cost mechanisms that are involved. I'm sure you've all heard about it or read about it, is the crossing at the New River. There's discussion for a new bridge, for a tunnel. There's all kinds of things that are being discussed. If that bridge becomes too cost prohibitive, it kills the entire project for Broward County. So that is something to be on the lookout for. Obviously, FDOT and the county are working together and the city of Fort Lauderdale to make that a possibility. But if it doesn't, just as a FYI, it could kill the project. And they asked that we, as a city, nominate a financial contact going forward, because here's the kicker, which I hadn't heard before, it was disclosed to me for the first time. is that the county is looking for the city of Deerfield Beach, all 6 cities that get this project, the commuter rail station. The county is looking for the cities for local funding for the station development, which is basically the building of it, and the maintenance going forward. And while they were extremely hesitant to put any number on it, I did kind of pull out of them that we're looking at a minimum of probably $12 million. That's the minimum. And this is basically for, and by the way, the station in Deerfield Beach, they are proposing would be just south of Hillsborough Boulevard and Dixie Highway. So just south of Hillsborough Boulevard on Dixie Highway on the east side. Obviously that presents some parking challenges as well. So we're going to partner with members of the community and get creative as to what we would do for parking, but just to put a station there. And think of the one that's out at Hillsborough Boulevard, west of I-95, where you basically have the cement platform and the cover. That's what we're talking about. And the more frills that you want to put into it would be more of the city's expense. But that's 12 million, and that's 12 million that I'm sure we don't have just laying around. And so that was basically kind of a shock for me to hear that they want us to pay that price going forward, not only just for the station, but for the maintenance on an ongoing basis. So I throw that out there as the city manager appoints this contact with the county. We need to be cognizant that this is a big price tag going forward. It could be very transformative for our city, no doubt about it. And I'm not saying or implying by any stretch of the imagination that this is a deal breaker in my mind, but I want you all, my colleagues, thinking about it. You know, what you think, because we're going to have to be very creative going forward to come up with a solution for this. Other than that, I do not have any other comments. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. District 3.
Mayor Nolan, I know that you're part of the Little League family, and I have become a part of the Little League family. I've sponsored a few children that can't afford it, and I'm also sponsoring a team. And we are holding a state championship in July, and I have been assured by the city manager that those scoreboards will be operational and look good by that date. So I'm taking a personal interest in it.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I coached for many years in New York and went to one game and got sucked in. It never leaves.
And life.
It never leaves. I like the program and I like the way the children are treated. And I think it's a good program. As far as District 3 is concerned, I decided to go to war with illegal contractors full time. I get more than a dozen calls a day about contractors take money, drop off a bathtub, and then never come back. And it's getting to be epidemic wide. So I can only advise the public this. A, use only licensed contractors. B, they have to have the numbers on the side of their truck. You can ask to see a copy of not only their license, but their workman's compensation insurance policy in case a worker gets hurt on your property. You can also check for permits by calling the permit department and giving them your address. If the guy says, I got the permit, put it in the window and then take the number. You don't even need that. Just call the permit department, give them your address, and they will tell you whether or not a permit has been issued for the work. Under the law, unless it's an absolute emergency, no licensed contractor can begin work unless he secures the permit. If so, he is violating state law. And you are being held responsible. If there's no permit and the work is done, you're the one responsible, not the contractor. So I ask everybody, trust nobody, check it out before you let them rip a wall out and then leave it there and take off. that there's a permit, that they're licensed, they're insured, and they're a registered company. I've been told by the permit department, by the state, Ms. Freed's department, there's no such thing as a handyman when it comes to plumbing, electrical, or construction. They're either licensed or they're not. There's no middle ground. And it's up to you. It's your money to be diligent and protect yourself. I'm tired of the phone calls of people that have been ripped off by so-called contractors who turn out not to be. So I'm asking the public, I have 1,000 eyes out in my district. Anytime they see anything, I had called today, they ripped out the walls in an apartment, totally. No permit in the window. I called, of course, code, and code took care of it. And that's what you have to do. It's your money, your responsibility. Please, you're stuck, call me. I will get code wherever it is to help out, to protect you. That's all I have.
Thank you. District 2.
I'd like to advise the public, well, as the commission, that there will be a meeting tomorrow of African American Heritage Board at 12 p.m. on the Youth celebration. There has been a change in the date. There's going to be a reception on Friday, the 18th at 7 p.m. This is going to take place at the Doubletree Hotel. And on the 19th will be the parade at 10 a.m. There will be a float there for commissioners for us to be a part of the celebration. We're certainly looking forward to that. So again, some of the planning for that is continuous, and we will address some things tomorrow. I just want to advise the commission. There were some challenges with the actual planning because we were right in the midst of COVID, things has let up a lot. And so now there's been some change. So I'm just hoping that everything will go off okay. It seems like it is. I just want to make you all aware of that. Yesterday, there was a commemoration, Memorial Day, and it was done by a few people from the community. Commissioner Rosenzweig was basically put together by himself. I got a call on Sunday that this was going to happen on Monday. So it was a little difficult, and but it did happen. It turned out to be a very nice thing. The taps was played at the Brandhilda Knowles Memorial. The flag there was at half staff. We then went to Pineview. The flag was not at half staff. And we then went over here to Memorial, and the flag was not at half staff. I don't really know that there is a more important day than Memorial Day. This is commemorating and give our veterans, people who actually died for this country, just so that all of us can sit here, all the people can sit in that audience and feel safe. There, we often say that we have freedom. But you know what? Freedom isn't free. There's a price. You know what it is? It's the life of others. I was not happy that we didn't do anything. Now, later on, found out that the American Legion, because they're going through structural change, was not able to put it together. So I'm going to ask my colleagues, for all of us, I don't want to be recognized for this. I want all of us to be recognized for this, that we do something for our veterans, that it will be sponsored by the city, not the American Legion wants to get in or somebody else wants to get in, that's fine. But this is something that will be led by the city so that we never find ourselves in a situation where what happened yesterday happened. And I know that there were some things that was done online, but we need to do something to commemorate our veterans. There is no more of an important day to say to those that actually laid down their lives, thank you. And we can do better than what happened yesterday. So, Mayor, I'm asking that if we could discuss this tonight. Again, I want no credit because I feel that this is something that we all would be passionate about. So make sure that we do something for our veterans and that it be led by the city going forward. That we wouldn't exclude anybody, but we want it to be city led. When Taps was played at all 3 locations, it was incredible. It was an incredible thing. And, you know, it just was a moment for pause. So if we could discuss that, I would greatly appreciate it. I want to thank BSO, you know, for some of the work that they have been doing. You do good work in all of your field, and all of us have needs. I know that I do, and I call on them. But when you have residents, not one, but a few of them calling and saying, I want to go somewhere where I can get some rest. I mean, it bothers me. And I just want to thank BSO for paying attention to the residents of this city and just understanding the very nature of what's going on and trying, you know, the best that they can make sure that the residents of Deerfield are treated with respect and that we hear whatever your needs are. So thank you, BSO. I got several calls today, not one, but several, that over at the Praxis Center, there are young people that are selling drugs because there are kids in there that shouldn't be in there. That should be an older elderly community. It is not that. I went over myself. They didn't know who I was. I played detective off my truck and just watched. And there are some things I can't say that what I saw were people actually exchanging drugs, but it looked very suspicious. So I'm asking BSO to take a look at that because something is going on over there. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Mr. Kwong.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before I start with my comments, I want to second Vice Mayor's comments. 2 of us up here are veterans, and I was very disappointed that the city did not take the lead in making sure that we had a Memorial Day celebration. It is, in my eyes, the most important holiday that we celebrate here in the United States. Again, these are to celebrate individuals who have given up their lives so that we have the ability and the freedoms that we do have. And I think it's vitally important that not only this city, but every city does do some kind of a celebration. We have the McKeithen Park, where we have the memorial for the Deerfield Beach individuals who have laid down their lives. And I think that needs to be the epicenter of any celebration or anything that we do for Memorial Day, because it's, you know, not only is it, you know, celebrating the individuals who gave their lives for us, but it's also their family members. They've lost a loved one, and they have to go on year after year knowing that that loved one is not coming home. You know, here we've been at war for the last 10, 11 years. And here in the United States, nobody really knows it because wars happen in other places. You can look on CNN and you can see the devastations that's happening in Israel or in Iraq or Iran. And then we get into our electric car and we go over to McDonald's and come home and watch our big screen TVs. So we're not adversely impacted. And we're fortunate that we live where we do, so that the bombs aren't hitting our cities. and killing our civilians. But our soldiers are the ones who are taking that, and then they come back in a casket, and it's 30 seconds on CNN, and then it's forgotten. And that's a shame. I think it was a big miss by the city, and I agree. We need to take the lead, and I think going forward, we need to make sure that on Memorial Day, we have a kick-butt celebration to honor those individuals who have laid down their lives for us. With regards to my comments on Friday, June 4th, Somerset Academy Key is having their graduation, so I want to graduate those high school seniors. I want to wish you all the best as you move forward into becoming adults, whether you're going to college, whether you're going to trade school, whatever your future holds. I wish you all the best. Also on Wednesday, June 9th, Deerfield Beach High School will be having their graduation at Lockhart Stadium. And again, it's a trying time for the last two high school graduating classes. So I'm ultimately proud of every single one of you who have stuck through it, whether you had to learn from home most of the year, maybe you finally got to go back to school. So it took a tremendous amount of intestinal fortitude to get through these last 2 years, especially going to high school. So again, congratulations to all of the graduating seniors. On Saturday, June 12th, I will be having my Saturday meetings with my residents. So if there's anybody who needs to speak with me, please reach out to City Hall and we'll schedule an appointment. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm going to start off with Praxis. I'm disappointed to hear that. Thanks for the report on that, Vice Mayor. You know, we stood here, we were lied to or misled very openly by the woman who was taking it over and made it seem like this was going to be a different situation than what we had before. What we're finding out, it's nothing but the same garbage we had previously. I get more complaints from Praxis probably per year than I get about anything else in the city of Deerfield Beach from residents over there. We knew there were bad news when we came before us. They lied, gave a free pass, and we see what we got. So it's very frustrating, but I hope that we come down with an iron fist. And if we have to get HUD involved to make their funding for the slumlords that own that place, then let's do it. Whatever we need to do. And if it falls on us or if it falls back to the community, we'll take care of those people to get the slumlords out of there. It's fine with me. We'll figure it out. I do want to say, as far as Memorial Day, I know staff was equally as frustrated with this because normally they don't want to step on the toes of the American Legion. And I think the last minute kind of letting us know that there was not going to be something going on with them put us in a bad spot. But it should be something, and I agree with you 100%. And I know I've talked to the city manager, I know he feels the same way, because he suggested before even I had to, is that we're all disappointed that something wasn't done. It should have been done. I didn't get a call from Mr. Rose's, but I got it on Sunday, he didn't voicemail, I didn't get in touch with him until Monday, and then it was over. So it shouldn't have been left to that, and we can do better. I will, if it is accurate, I will be critical of staff for not having the flags that have staff. That's just not acceptable. It should not be what's happening. I do want to praise our staff. I mean, I'm going to go back to that really quick. I mean, between Daniel Lawson, James Sue, who we've lost in combat since I've been in office, it's the right thing to do. We need to do it, and it needs to be a city of Deerfield Beach function and not let it be up to somebody else to put that on. And I know the staff feels the same way, so I know that will happen. I'm also going to suggest this. Memorial Day, people get confused. Everybody thinks Veterans Day, we honor our veterans. That means those who made it home. Memorial Day is for those who did not make it home. While Memorial Day is something what we're talking about now when it comes to veterans, and I don't know what the numbers will be, and I'm going to ask staff to look at this, but I'd like us to consider making the ability to go on our pier just to walk, the fishing part of it, the walking part of it, should be free of charge for any veteran all year long. It's not a lot of money. It's something we can do. It's a way of showing thank you to whoever it is that, the fact that they made it home, they should have at least be able to walk on our pier without being charged for it. It's a small amount. We do it on special occasions, so we do it around it. We do it on Memorial Day, we do it on Veterans Day, and I think we do it on 4th of July, I believe. So we can look at the numbers on that to make sure. I don't like to say, let's just do it without looking at numbers. Let's look at the numbers. I have a very strong feeling that our numbers will probably be fine, that it's not going to be an issue to us. And I don't think there's a resident here who will have a problem. We're excited to do that. So we can figure out a way to make that work. Well, I don't want to make a rash decision up here on the fly. It's legitimate. We don't have, we can get this ball rolling. I'd rather get it rolling and do it right than make a rash decision right now, because I've been known to kind of try to move things forward from on the fly, and it turns out there's a lot of issues. So I don't want to staff that position, but as you're talking about it, it just makes a lot of sense to me. I know several residents have suggested it, so it's not purely my idea. This has been suggested in the past. I do want to thank our staff and our collaboration for the LGBTQ Development Council. First off, Chris Morey, Economic Development, and Gigi did an outstanding job and thanks to Dave Morantz from the Economic Development Council, who's kind of their own entity out there in the private sector, helping put connections together. They put together this connection. It allowed us to have Ron Bergeron, who many of you know, but also his relationship with the South Florida Water Management District, and Dr. Guy Harvey, artist, and as I say, doctor, he's primary, believe it or not. He's famous for being an artist, but it's his research that is really where he is the most proud. Came to our city to do a tour and looked at opportunities that we might have here in certain areas to collaborate on some projects moving forward. It was a huge success. I was so impressed with Ms. Morey and how she handled herself, her ability to not only pitch Deerfield Beach, but talk about all the different opportunities that were there. It's my understanding these conversations are progressing rapidly, and they're definitely, we'll be able to make some announcements hopefully in the future. They'll talk about how we're putting Deerfield Beach on the map, some of these groups and organizations. Yes. Yeah, Roy Rogers is part of that, as many of you know. Roy Rogers does many projects here in Broward County as a local legend as well. There were a lot of people involved, and it was great collaboration between the county. Our state representative Chip Markin was there, county commissioner. He's going to Lamar Fisher. Thank you very much. Lamar was there, and Rex Harden from Pompano was part of the initial visit. So it was nice to see a collaboration, not just with our city, but we had Dan West from Parks and Rec from Broward County. It was really great collaboration, and I want to thank the staff. City manager, they all did a great job of that. So thank you very much. And I do want to thank Dave Brands, because if it were not for him, I don't think the conversation would happen. So it's a matter of putting the right people together and then watching them excel, which is where I saw with our staff. So I really want to thank you for that. With that, it is very frustrating for me to hear all the different issues that we're seeing that were just reported tonight about lights out, conditions of fields. That came up last commission meeting about conditions of fields. I spent 3 hours last week down by the beach just watching, monitoring, looking at every little aspect, and being on the phone with the city manager and the chief. We've got issues that we want to work out. I'm not going to air them all out now, because I'd rather let the staff have the opportunity to correct it. But if this continues, if this trend continues and it doesn't change, it will be part of my weekly update for everybody, or it'll be part of my every commission meeting, talking about some of these issues, because it is frustrating to hear this, and whether it be flags not in the proper position when they certainly should be, but to hear about the gutter stillness conditions over the school units over a year ago. But I'd asked to have that looked into and fixed well over a year ago. And all these other issues combined, what we heard tonight. It's very frustrating, so let's hope that changes. I hope all of us come together and figure out what our vision is for the city and when it comes to our budget that we're going to be dealing with here soon. We bring our ideas and our plans forward, meet with staff, and let's all meet up here together, compare notes. And when we get into our workshops, let's talk about what we want to see, what we want to see happen, and create some policies to get that done. Because in my opinion, that's what this whole thing is about. So let's make sure we do that and come prepared. With that, I believe that's everything I have. And again, I want to thank Jim Dunn from JR Dunn for all the support he's given this community and beyond. And he will be missed. So I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
And a motion in a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.